Good evening, everyone. So, thanks for taking your time to listen to me about the Internet of Things and the influence of mobile application in the growth of Internet of Things. So, to start with, my name is Shankar. I play a role of Vice President, Sales and Operations at .com Infoway. During this webinar, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat option on the webinar, or if you feel that your question is a bit more detailed and requires a in-depth analysis and a better picture of the Internet of Things, please feel free to email us at ask@.cominfoway.com. So before I start, what is .com Infoway all about? We are a web and mobile application development company started in 2000. We are into this business for more than 17 years now. We are a large team of more than 200 professionals working on different platforms, including web application development using open source as well as Microsoft technologies and mobile application development. To know more about .com Infoway and the services we offer, you can check out .cominfoway.com. .com Infoway is also into other initiatives like GMASA. GMASA stands for Global Mobile Application Summit and Awards, wherein we do diligent research and identify the best applications of different genres and we award them. .com Infoway is also into magazine world. Startup 360 focuses on the startup ecosystem, and the Apps World Mag focuses on the application development worldwide. To give you a brief about me, I'm Shankar, as I said. I play a role of Vice President Sales and Operations in .com Infoway. I have more than 10 years of experience in web and mobile technologies. In this long experience, I have worked with many type of clients ranging from startups, small and medium level entrepreneurs, and enterprise level clients like Nestle, Johnson & Johnson, Boston Scientific, Times Inc., or just to name a few. I have worked with almost all the business verticals like healthcare, real estate, retail industry, finance, hospitality, travel, and that's a main reason why I feel I have to take a webinar on Internet of Things on different business verticals and how it is going to be beneficial for the business owners as well as the customers. If you have any questions specific to this webinar or the entire concept itself, you can write an email to me directly at Shankar, Sierra, Hotel Alpha, Nancy, Kilo, Alpha, Romeo at dci.in. I repeat, it's Shankar at dci.in. So before we get into the topic, what is Internet of Things and how it is going to impact the different business verticals and how a mobile application is going to help in Internet of Things. So the key takeaways are like, for this webinar is like, what is Internet of Things? It has 4 essential components: sensing, communicating, analyzing, and acting. Why Internet of Things is amazing and what is the future of it? Internet of Things has already got into our many areas of life, right from market spend to mobile connectivity, healthcare market, companies of travel. There are many companies tapping into this lucrative Internet of Things market, and it is spanning across different industries and business verticals. To name a few are real estate, healthcare, and as I said, real estate. Almost all the metropolitan cities in India has started launching smart homes, and many cities in India have becoming smart cities. So the wearables, retail, healthcare, agriculture, and transportation are the other areas where Internet of Things is taking a boom. So what is the role of a mobile application in revolutionizing the world of Internet of Things? So to know more about it, we need to know better on what Internet of Things is. Internet of Things is nothing but allowing more than one device to connect, probably a smart device, to connect with each other via internet, wherein one device sends command or data to another device and it gets processed. It uses embedded technology to communicate, sense, and in cases interact with the internal states or external environment. Well, that's kind of sounds complicated, isn't it? It is actually. So to make it simpler, I'll give you some examples. A smart thermostat. Imagine if you can control the temperature of your living room with just a tap of a button on your smartphone or a tablet from any part of the world. Interesting, isn't it? It is. So assume you are leaving your home or leaving your office and you want to set the temperature of your living room to be 25 degrees Celsius. You just open your app, you set the temperature, and you send the command, and boom, it gets 25 degrees Celsius in your living room. That's the very basic level of Internet of Things we are talking about. And, and we have come across a long way than that. For example, a smart refrigerator. It not only allows you to control the temperature of your fridge, but it also understands the items that you have consumed, the number of empty bottles in your fridge, and it goes even beyond step and it orders automatically before you run out of the stock, as you set the minimum inventory to be. Interesting, isn't it? That's the amazing future of Internet of Things. So before we get into further details about what Internet of Things is and how the mobile application is going to have an impact on it, let me throw you some numbers. The global spending of Internet of Things across markets will reach 1.29 trillion by 2020, is what predicted by International Data Corporation. 8.4 billion connected things or devices will be in use by end of 2017, which is 31% higher than 2016, says Gartner. As I said, many industries are getting into the Internet of Things market, and the investment is going to be huge in Internet of Things, and it is led by the manufacturing sector with 178 billion and followed by 78 billion of investment on transportation and 69 billion US dollars in utilities, says again the International Data Corporation. It is not only the manufacturers or the owners of the business, but also the consumers like you and me are going to contribute to the Internet of Things, wherein we will start or we might have already started purchasing products knowingly or unknowingly, which contributes to the third largest segment by 2020. For example, the wearables. The worldwide shipment of wearables to surpass 200 million by 2019, which is going to be led by the smart watches in terms of the wearables, says the International Data Corporation. And I personally feel Apple Watch is going to be the leader in terms of wearables, followed by Google Glasses. And in terms of real estate, smart homes are getting very large investment by the angel investors, as well as the consumers have started purchasing smart homes rather than just a home. And the investment on it is going to be double by 63 billion by end of 2020, says International Data Corporation. Then the other industry which is going to have a huge boom in terms of Internet of Things are the healthcare with the remote health monitoring. And I'll give you more statistics on the growth of the Internet of Things. IHS forecasts that the Internet of Things market will grow from an install base of 15.4 billion devices in 2015 to 30.7 billion devices in 2020. And it goes even further to 75.4 billion in 2025. That's a huge potential of getting into the Internet of Things market. But before we get into a market, we need to know what exactly it is to be successful in it. So since we spoke about setting the temperature of a home, so assume that you had a very rough day in your office, which most of us do almost on a daily basis, and it's hot and humid out there, and you feel comfortable at 25 degrees Celsius. Uh, so you open your app, you set the temperature as 25 degrees Celsius, you leave the office, and when you enter your home, boom, the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. It happens with two different smart devices interacting with each other over the internet. So how does it happen? You have a smartphone and you have a smart air conditioner. So what makes a normal air conditioner smart? It is yet another air conditioner, but which has the privilege to interact with your Wi-Fi router or with the internet to receive commands and act according to it, instead of just by tapping or clicking on the remote. So you all must be familiar with the Google Home and Apple HomeKit. Google Homes is nothing but a smart speaker developed by Google, which has Google Assistant built in. Uh, the Google Home integrates multiple Google products like Google Calendar, Maps, Chromecast, whatever you name it. In addition, a Google Home listens to you, and it gives you personalized answers. So it's like kind of a virtual assistant ready to listen to you at any point of time from anywhere in the home. It even turns on your lights or turns off the lines of the window. So anything that can be controlled via internet is done by Google Home. Amazon Echo has the same kind of features, but it's a kind of scaled down version of Google Homes is what I personally feel. Apple Homes is again in the very initial stage, and it is yet to hit the actual market and get the expected returns out of it. But Apple Home is very similar to Google Home, but works in a more sophisticated way, as Apple typically do. So before we get into further discussion about the Internet of Things, what are the essential components of Internet of Things? There are four. The four essential components of Internet of Things are smart connected devices, applications, cloud, data ingestion, analytics, and support services. What is an application is going to do in the Internet of Things? Applications are the essential uh, element of the Internet of Things for proper utilization of all the data collected. The trickier part is like integrating Internet of Things device interface with your app. Most of us would be using the Fitbit smart wristband or something similar to that. So what it does, it's a smart wristband which has GPS, which has accelerometer, which has gyroscope, and it has the privilege to send and receive data from the other devices via internet. So what happens? The smart wristband tracks the movement of yours, like the number of steps you have walked or the distance you have covered in a particular day, the route in which you travel. It tracks all the information, all the data is there, and development of an app intact with the smart wristband allows you to see those data in a more readable format, and it gives you a privilege to compare the data and make an informed decision. Apps typically gives you an interface to view the data, and at times it also acts as a transmitter to send the command to these smart devices. For example, as I said before, turning on the air conditioner or setting the temperature of it can be done from your mobile. The same goes for recording a video or recording a show on your TV, which can be instructed from your smart device itself. So how does it work? Your phone turns into a universal remote which controls all the smart electronics at your home via internet, and it sends command to do so. The same way you can control the thermostat, the same way you can control the TV, lights, window control. So as long as a device is eligible to send and receive command via internet, it can be controlled, manipulated with an app. So the data is there, the data ingestion happens, and the analytics is done, and it is presented to you on the app interface. So for example, as is mentioned about the smart wristband, what happens is it tracks the number of steps, it tracks the distance you have covered, it tracks the route in which you travel, it calculates the previous amount of data it has, it compares it, and it gives it to you in an analytical format on the app interface. So it helps you to make an informed decision, like you haven't walked enough for a particular day, which motivates you to do it at least at the later part of the day. So Internet of Things helps you to do things in your life a bit easier. I have layered the Internet of Things in 7 different ways to give you a clear idea on what Internet of Things is. The first layer is the device, sensor, controllers. The second layer is the communication, where the data is sent or received via protocols, networks, M2M, Wi-Fi, telecom, or HWKits. The third layer is the cloud infrastructure, be it a public cloud infrastructure, private, hybrid, or managed. It's an infrastructure where the data gets stored. The fourth layer is the big data harvest and storage of the thing data. Thing is nothing but a device which sends or receives command via internet. The fifth layer is the reporting, mining, and machine learning. I want to throw more light on machine learning because that's one amazing thing which can make wonders along with the Internet of Things. The sixth layer is the important layer, the custom application built using the data received from the smart devices. The seventh layer is the transformational decision making based on the thing, apps, and data. So as I said, have you ever wondered what machine learning would do with Internet of Things? Any guess? I'll say. Since we spoke about the example of setting the temperature of your living room, you open the app, you set the temperature, and when you get into your home, boom, you get the temperature of your living room as 25 degrees, as exactly you said, which is still amazing. What if it all happens automatically? Wondering how, right? That's where the machine learning process comes into play. So with the help of your smartphone, it automatically understands where your office is with the help of GPS. So with the help of machine learning, it understands the usual time when you leave your office. It also understands the direction in which you travel with the help of Google Maps, of course. It tracks the live traffic data and it understands how long it takes you to reach your home from your office. And the smart air conditioner at your home understands the temperature outside, and it also understands the temperature in which you feel comfortable, depending on the temperature you usually set. So here we have all the data. The machine learning comes into play. So what it does is, it understands you typically leave your office at around 8 o'clock. It understands it usually takes 20 minutes to reach your home. And with the help of Google Maps or the live traffic update, what happens is it understands that there is a little bit of traffic and it might take 30 minutes for you to reach your home today. We have the data again, and the outside temperature is 30 degrees as assessed by the smart air conditioner you have, and the temperature in which you feel comfortable is 25 degrees. So the smart device, the smart air conditioner calculates the difference as 5 degrees Celsius minus, and it takes 10 minutes of on time to make the entire room to that particular temperature in which you feel comfortable. So instead of you doing the process of sending the command, the system automatically does it when you have traveled 20 minutes. So the remaining 10 minutes can be used for turning on the air conditioner and set the temperature as 25. And when you get into your home, the temperature is 25 degrees precisely. That's where the machine learning and the Internet of Things work hand in hand. What is the role of a mobile application in revolutionizing the world of Internet of Things? Mobile phone is the hub of Internet of Things. I would say mobile devices, not particularly mobile phone, a mobile device, a smart mobile device, such as smartphones, tablets, wearables, are, are used as the main interface for connecting the Internet of Things enabled devices. Nowadays, mobile devices are empowered with sensors and applications which could reveal greater information about you and your behavior. The default qualities of mobile devices are like geolocation information with numerous connectivity choices such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, mobile network. So that puts the mobile devices at the Internet of Things ecosystem's core. The massive growth in cloud adoption using software as a service and infrastructure as a service is supporting and driving an increase in the mobile application development, because we were speaking about data, and if you are going to track the user behavior, it is going to be a huge data. So you don't have to really go for a high configuration server wherein a cloud environment would help you to store all the information and use it as and when required. So that can be done at a fraction of the cost of a dedicated server. So that introduction of a cloud environment as a software as a service or infrastructure as a service started helping the mobile applications to contribute to the Internet of Things in a better way. Having mobile apps connected to the internet makes life a whole lot easier, as I said, because for example, you have a smart microwave at home and you want to reheat your food. You put your food in the microwave and leave for the office, and when you come back, you can just send a command, or automatically based on the distance and the time required, it automatically turns on the smart microwave and your food gets reheated. So once you get home, the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius and you have your favorite food hot. What else can you expect with the help of internet? So it makes our life easier. Mobile applications therefore make the very concept of Internet of Things in a more efficient way. So that's the impact of mobile applications in the growth of Internet of Things is what I feel. So here are some examples of popular Internet of Things integrated or enabled mobile applications. I'll let you read it and I'll wait for your questions. If at all you have any questions, use the webinar chat and I'll be glad to answer it as and when it comes. So as I wait for the questions, I'll share a experience what we had while developing an interesting concept of an application, which is again related to Internet of Things. In US, they have a culture of selling things as a truck sale. So we were approached by a client who is into the business of selling food items uh, via truck. So he was super rich and he was tech savvy. So he wanted to use the technology to improve his sale, so he can differentiate him from the other competitors. So what he did is like he enabled smart chips and smart refrigerators in his truck, and he managed to input the food items that are being sold and their inventory, and we developed a mobile application that works intact with the smart chips and smart refrigerator. So whenever the truck travels through the entire state, and whenever the truck is in certain proximity of the users who have already installed this application, it sends a notification, not with the help of a beacon, but with the help of geofencing. It sends a notification to the user that this particular truck is available in this particular location, and if you would be interested in purchasing some food materials. In addition, based on the smart refrigerator and the type of food items they have, the inventory is managed, and it allows the user to select the view the list of inventory and select the items they want to purchase. And if the item is available or if not, it sends the appropriate notification to the user saying that this particular item is running low. So would you be interested in checking it out right away, or do you want to find alternatives? This also helps in digitalizing the entire truck sale process. And that was one interesting project that we recently worked on. And, I'm happy that we were able to contribute to the Internet of Thing community as a pioneer when it is still being learned by the other companies. I can see a few questions coming in, but I'm really running out of time. I have a couple of more minutes, so I'll try to answer those questions now. If not, we will catch up with a blog post, or we'll publish the questions and our answers in the social media. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and you'll see the updates on this webinar and the questions that you have asked. Yes, Internet of Things is in the very initial stage and it can do wonders. It is the way to go. And there is a question from Krishna. He says, how successful will it be when it comes to healthcare? Yes, it is in the initial stage, but it is always better to get digital because the possibility of making error is less compared to doing it manually. So healthcare industry would get a different dimension and a boom once it comes into the entire digital process and using the artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. Okay, I can see a few more questions coming in, but I'm extremely sorry. I have to really uh, end the session. So I'll answer all your questions individually, either via email or I'll post it as a blog or on social media. Thank you for joining me and listening to me so far. Thank you. Bye.